Hi, my friends. Today I want to present you a new story. Enjoy watching it. The rain tapped lightly against the window of my office, a soft yet persistent rhythm that mirrored the quiet hum of the Mint Hotel lobby. It was late, far past check-in hours, but I had stayed behind, going over the final details of an upcoming event booking. The dim glow of the reception desk light flickered slightly, casting long shadows across the wooden floors. My fingers drummed idly against the desk as I double-checked the reservation list. It was a habit, really. Ever since I bought this place 3 years ago, I had poured my soul into it. It wasn't just a business, it was my pride. Then I heard it. A laugh. Not just any laugh, hers. Lorraine. My heart gave a sharp, involuntary thud. She wasn't supposed to be here tonight. She had told me she was visiting her cousin across town. I rose slowly, my muscles tensing as I stepped toward the hallway. The faint sound of voices, multiple voices, filtered through the thin walls. Low murmurs, the kind that hinted at secrecy. I followed the sound, moving carefully, instinct guiding my steps. The lounge door was slightly ajar, the warm light spilling into the dim hallway. I stopped just outside, pressing myself against the wall, listening. Can you believe I've lasted this long? Lorraine's voice rang out, light and amused. A hotel owner. My God, I swear, sometimes I forget and think I'm baiting a real businessman. Laughter followed. My fingers curled into a fist. Oh, come on. Another voice, her friend Madeline, giggled. You've got to be at your limit by now. How much longer are you keeping up this act? Not long, Lorraine sighed dramatically. Honestly, after the wedding, I'll live with him for a while, maybe months, just to make it look good. Then I'll divorce him. He's got decent savings, there's something to take, and let's not forget the hotel property. Madeline gasped playfully. You wouldn't? Lorraine laughed again. Oh, I would. And you know what's hilarious? He actually thinks I love him. It's cute, really. I mean, sure, he's sweet, but let's be real. This is just a stepping stone. A chill ran down my spine. A stepping stone. My grip tightened around the doorframe as her words echoed in my skull. Another voice, slightly deeper, cut in, her brother Thomas. You're playing a dangerous game, Lorraine. If Brandon finds out, he won't, Lorraine interrupted confidently. Brandon's an idiot when it comes to me. I could tell him the sky is green, and he believed me. He worships the ground I walk on. More laughter. I took a slow step back, my breath shallow. A part of me wanted to burst into that room, to confront her right then and there, but no, that would be too easy. Instead, I turned on my heel and walked away. If Lorraine thought I was a fool, she was about to learn the hard way. I wasn't the one being played. I stood in front of the mirror, buttoning my cuffs with slow, deliberate movements. My face gave nothing away, not the rage simmering beneath my skin, not the betrayal tightening around my ribs like a steel cage. The man staring back at me was no longer the naive groom-to-be. He was someone else now, someone colder, smarter, dangerous. Lorraine thought she had me wrapped around her perfectly manicured fingers, that I would follow her down the aisle like a lovesick fool, blind to her deceit. She had no idea what was coming. I slipped my phone from my pocket, scrolling through the evidence I had collected overnight. Recordings, screenshots, bank transfers she had made, shifting money in preparation for her exit. She was careful, but I was meticulous. A knock at the door. Come in, I called, locking my phone. Thomas stepped inside, his jaw tight. He looked like he had barely slept. Thomas, Lorraine's brother, was not thrilled with his sister's scheme to marry me in order to get money out of me. He was on my side, and in the last 2 months we had become good friends. She still doesn't suspect anything, he muttered, rubbing the back of his neck. I gave him a slow smile, one that didn't reach my eyes. Of course she doesn't. She thinks she's the smartest person. Thomas exhaled, crossing his arms. I don't get it. Why are you still going through with the wedding? Just call it off. Expose her now. I turned, meeting his gaze, because that would be too easy. She planned to humiliate me, Thomas. Use me, bleed me dry, and then toss me aside like garbage. No, she deserves worse. A flicker of hesitation crossed his face, but he nodded. He had given me the final pieces of the puzzle. Text messages between him and Lorraine, proving she had been manipulating even her own family. I just don't want to be there when it all goes down, Thomas muttered. I smirked. Oh, you will be. Front row. He swallowed but said nothing. The plan was in motion. Lorraine was busy with last-minute wedding preparations, completely unaware that she was the one walking into a trap. I picked up the engagement ring from the dresser, twirling it between my fingers. Soon, she realized this wasn't going to be the wedding she had envisioned. The evening of the next day, Lorraine's laughter drifted through the hallway as she spoke to her bridesmaids in the next room. I stood just outside the doorway, out of sight, listening. I can't believe how easy this has been, she giggled. Brandon actually thinks I love him. Poor guy. The bridesmaids snickered. And he's still paying for everything? One of them asked. Oh, absolutely, Lorraine purred. He has no idea I've moved most of his money into my account. By the time we get back from the honeymoon, well, I won't be coming back. I clenched my jaw, my fingers tightening around my phone. Another recording. Another piece of proof. She really thought she had me fooled. The door creaked as I stepped back. Lorraine's voice dropped. What was that? Probably just someone passing by, one of the bridesmaids dismissed. I walked away, keeping my steps slow, controlled. I had work to do. An hour later, I sat in the dim glow of my office, Thomas across from me, his face pale. She actually said that, he asked, eyes wide. I played back the recording. Lorraine's voice filled the room, each word sharper than the last. Thomas exhaled harshly. Unbelievable. I leaned forward. She planned to leave me in 2 weeks. That means she hasn't made the final withdrawal yet. Thomas blinked. You're saying we still have time? I smirked. Not just time. Leverage. I pulled up my banking app, fingers flying over the screen. A few taps later, my savings were out of Lorraine's reach. She would wake up tomorrow to an empty account. Thomas whistled. That's brutal. I met his gaze. She deserves it. He hesitated before nodding. What's next? I closed my phone. Now? We let her dig her own grave. The morning sun bled through the curtains as I sat at the edge of the bed, scrolling through my phone. The final wedding invoices had been sent out. To Lorraine, she hadn't noticed yet, but she would soon. I tapped a message to Thomas. Everything is in place. Just wait. And knock at the door. Brandon. Lorraine's voice was honey, fake. I exhaled, slipping my phone into my pocket before opening the door. She beamed at me, flawless as ever in her silk robe, her engagement ring catching the light. Good morning, Fiancée. I forced a smile. Morning. She slid her arms around my neck. Only one day left until the big moment. Yeah, I said, watching her carefully. If only she knew it wasn't going to be hers. Lorraine pulled back slightly, her nails tracing my collarbone. I was thinking, we should move some of the honeymoon money today, just to be safe. My stomach twisted. There it was. I tilted my head. Why? Something wrong? She giggled, a little too high-pitched. Of course not. Just financial security, you know? I pretended to consider it. I trust you. That did it. Her shoulders relaxed, and she kissed my cheek. That's why I love you, babe. I smiled back, hiding my satisfaction, because it won't be long before Lorraine would log into an account with nothing but air. And when the wedding day arrived, she'd stand before a room full of people, completely unaware that I had already written her final act. The church was packed. White roses adorned every aisle. The chandeliers shimmered and anticipation hung thick in the air. Lorraine's family sat in the front row, beaming with pride, unaware of the storm about to hit. I stood at the altar, adjusting my cufflinks, my heartbeat steady. Beside me, Thomas shifted, his jaw tight. He knew what was coming. Then, the doors swung open. Lorraine glided in, radiant in her designer gown, her veil flowing behind her. Gasps of admiration filled the hall. Her eyes locked onto mine, triumphant, as if she had already won. Not today. Before the ceremony could begin, I turned to the crowd. Before we continue, I have a surprise. The projector flickered to life. The room darkened, And then her voice. He's just a stepping stone. After the wedding, I'm set for life. Gasps, murmurs. Lorraine's smile shattered. The next clip played, her laughing with her friends, mocking me, calling me pathetic. She spun to me, eyes wild. Brandon, what is this? I met her gaze, calm. The truth. Her mother bolted up. Turn this off. This is slander. Lorraine let out a strangled sob. Brandon, please. I took a deep breath. This wedding is over. Silence. Then chaos. Her parents demanded answers. Guests whispered. Lorraine crumbled, mascara streaking down her face. But the final blow came when I revealed the truth about her prized gold pendant, the one she flaunted as a rare diamond-studded heirloom. It was a cheap fake. Just like everything else about you, Lorraine. I muttered when she confronted me, her face pale, eyes brimming with resentment. Her lips trembled, but she said nothing. She knew there was nothing left to say. The days that followed were nothing short of poetic justice. News of Lorraine's humiliation spread like wildfire. Her influencer dreams? Shattered. The luxury wedding? A financial ruin her family was now forced to cover. Friends distanced themselves, unwilling to be associated with her disgrace. I walked away, knowing one thing: I had won. Friends, what do you think of this story? Write your opinion in the comments. Would you like more stories? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss any videos. See you tomorrow.